What's up, my beautiful tribe people? Mizzy Rocka here. I'm out for a stroll. I've been taking my meetings in the field today, so just trying to get some natural light and vitamin D. I'm at a park right now, a neighborhood park. It's beautiful out here. And I'm just walking. I feel like sometimes it's important to just get out and stretch your legs. Being confined to a desk sometimes could be a little oppressive. And so I think it's really good to just create a balance by trying to find ways to get in some elements, some wind, air, some water vibes, some soil, some earth. And that's what I'm doing today. So I'm coming to you guys just to check in, say hello, and talk to you about what I've been thinking about. So I got a meeting that's going to start real soon, so I'm going to have to jump off and then jump back on. But I just wanted to set it up. So I was talking to one of my mentors this morning, and every time I talk to her, she's so beautiful. Every time I talk to her, she just gives me life. Like, she helped me really, look at myself. She helps me look at the bigger picture. But also, she's been mentoring me since I was 23. I'm 41 now. So, like, it's almost been 20 years that we've been together. And now we're sisters. Like, she's my mentor, but she's my sister first. And I just love her for that. But we were talking about why is it that we choose to hide ourselves? So, when I first started this journey, I told you about how I've always compartmentalized my life. I didn't talk about my personal life and my work life. I didn't talk about my work life and my personal life, and I kept the two completely separate. So much so to where I didn't never integrate my friendship circles. So, like, if I had one set of friends over here and another set of friends over there, they could be in the same city, I would never introduce them. I'll just keep them completely separate because, like, one set of friends might be my friends that I met through my career or whatever interest I was into at that time. And then I had my other set of friends who were like my ratchet crew. We just turn up together and get loose. But I would never integrate my friends. But I always knew that, like, this person to get along with that person really well, or, they a clique. They got a lot in common. But I just never had the courage to bring my friendship circles together. But when we were talking, you know, she struggled the same thing I do, and she's like, saying how brave I am to come on YouTube and just talk and share who I am with folks. And I'm gonna sit down. And it was really interesting because we just got around to, like, why is it that we're so private? Why is it that we choose not to share our lovely, beautiful, wonderful selves with the rest of the world? And she said something along the lines of, like, I wanted to protect my work, or I wanted to protect my family from the sides crossing up and getting to know each other. And I fully felt with her when she said that, because that's what I've been doing. I've been protecting my personal life from my professional life. Like, I don't know how crazy people are going to be in the labor movement. I don't want them messing with my family or targeting my family because of me. But then I protect my professional life from my personal life. Like, people don't understand that world that I'm in, and, like, it's just easier and less messy to just keep it separate. But at the root of it all, I think it's fear driven. So I asked her, why are we afraid to cross our worlds over? Because at the core of it all, if you're trying to protect something from something, then you're afraid that something could happen to that thing that you're trying to protect. So fear driven, we know that's not of God. That's the enemy's plan to hold us back. So we got to understand, why would the enemy use fear to keep us from telling folks who we are, or being our true, authentic selves in all spaces? So that's what I want to talk about today. And I'm back. So, where did we leave off? Yeah. So I'm telling you about a conversation I'm having earlier today. And we stopped at dream killers and dream builders. But before I finish this talk, I like I mentioned before, I swim twice a week. Um And I learned something about myself today. I learned that when swimming, when you carry any stress or any tension anywhere in your body, it makes the job of swimming that much more difficult. So if you're carrying it in your chest, your arms are tight. The buoyancy is heavier, so you're going to be kind of like a dead weight almost. Or if you carry it in your hips, you have to really just let go. Let go so that you can produce as less effort as possible. I'm excited. I beat my swim time today. When I first started swimming, when I started back swimming, I've been swimming my whole life. I used to be a lifeguard for Disney World, y'all. That was fun. Um, when I started back swimming, the first time I came back, it took me about 40 minutes to swim 150 yards. So it's Olympic size pool, which means that back and forward one time is 25 yards. So you have to go back and forward 6 times to get to 150 yards. Um, and that took me about 45 minutes. And I've been seeing myself increase and get better. And I'm timing myself each time. But today it was evident. Like I did the 150 yards, which is like small change for like real swimmers. But for me, 150 yards is like, it's been a lot. But I did 150 yards today in 25 minutes, y'all. I was so proud of myself. It's the small victories that count. I'm patting myself on the back. So back to dream killers and dream builders. So have you ever told somebody, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing? And they say, that's a stupid idea. That's not going to work. Those are dream killers. But then when you tell a dream builder something, they're like, oh, that's dope. You should do it. As a matter of fact, do you need any help doing it? Those are dream builders. But I wanted to get into the psychology of the dream killers and the dream builders so that you can understand how it plays out on your day to day. So with the dream killers, their goal is to make you feel inadequate, to make you feel like incapable, like you're just not fit to do those things that you're dreaming to do. So remember a few days ago when we talked about dreamers, one of the biggest obstacles of a dreamer is putting things off and procrastination. So a dream killer is a negative charge for a dreamer. Because the dream killer is pouring salt on your snail or pouring rain on your parade, we tend to allow the dream killers to get inside of our head. And dream killers don't always have to be audible. They don't always have to be talking to you or talking, in your stratosphere. They could just see you doing well and just be like, that mother effer, like just hate on you, like kind of send you some curses from afar. And so things like that scares people like me because I make moves. And when I make moves, I don't want nobody praying against me. I mean, of course, I'm going to cover myself, but still, you don't need no added pressure. And the interesting thing about dream killers is that they're often the people who are closest to us. That spouse, that mama, that best friend, the person who's your closest counsel, always in your ear. Look, check this. If you got dreams and visions and want to do things greater, and you got anybody that's around you that's constantly knocking down your ideas, constantly minimizing your suggestions, constantly trying to make you feel like you're not adequate or worthy and that you're not smart enough to think for yourself, Man, them dream killers, cut it. Like, they are dead weight. Or another way you can handle dream killers, if they're close enough to you and you just can't get rid of them, is you don't tell them what moves you're making, right? And if you do tell them what moves you're making and they start that dream killing business, you just do what you're going to do anyways. Their validation is not necessary. Like I said with the visionary, we don't seek validation. We go for what we know. So I want you to really think about that and think about the people in your circle. Who's your cheerleaders? Who's cheering you on? Who's encouraging you? Who's discouraging you? And handle them accordingly. Now, the dream builders. I believe that there's more dream builders out there than there are dream killers. It's just the dream killers are just so doggone audible and loud. But your dream builders, those are the people that's saying, hey, keep going, I see you. Or that's a brilliant idea. Why didn't we think of this before? Or the dream builders are the ones that know what your aspirations are and they're in those rooms talking about you and creating opportunities for you. Those are the dream builders. I could tell you a story about a dream builder that I met on my journey. I was 24. I was working down in Miami on a Kerry campaign. I do presidential campaigns on occasion. And I'm working on this campaign and I'm young. You know, it's kind of crazy down there. Everything's unorganized. So, like, I'm the kind of grab the bull by the horns type of girl. Like, if I see a gap, I'm going to stand in it. And so I'm stepping into all of these roles and I'm making stuff happening. You know, we got to get like 1,500 volunteers out on the doors. You know, it was just crazy. But I remember a very high level VP from my organization was on the ground during this time in the same office, in the same space. I'm young, you know, I'm new in the game. I've only been in like a year and a half at this point. And I didn't really understand who he was. I mean, you know, they come around, they introduce him. Hey, Erica, this is Guy. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm working. I'm trying to check for nobody. But that man watched me the entire time we were in Miami working. We worked our fingers to the core. Worked so hard to where when I wrapped up my posts at 12 o'clock a.m. on election night, I went over to another post to help them wrap theirs up. Just so happened, this VP is there working. I mean, he worked hard. Like, he wasn't walking around like, ooh, I'm a VP, so you better, I could sit back and you could, you know. He wasn't that type of dude. Like, he was working. I remember at one point, like, feeling embarrassed looking in hindsight where he walked up behind me and was like, hey, is there anything I could do? I'm like, yeah, you could go and print these off and make sure they're all stapled this side right. Like, I'm super anal. And I chuckle when I think about that. And I remember on the last day, the day after the election day, I was invited to a dinner. I thought it was like a black folks dinner, and it was. It was mostly black people. Cause we tend to do that in movement work. We try to find time to get together and get to know each other more. And I get to this meeting, this dinner, and it's like at this expensive restaurant. And I was like, I never been in a place like that before. And there was a seat open. The table was full. This guy was sitting in the center, and there was a seat right across from him open in the center. And they said, and I got there late because I was obviously doing some more late work because back then I was the first to arrive, last to leave. That was just my thing. And so I'm getting in there, and everybody already, having their drinks and stuff, and I sit down across from him. And he was like, you're one hard-working girl. And I was like, man, you got to get it done. And he said, I got a leadership position for you. And I was like, okay, whatever. Didn't think nothing of it. We have a good night. We get to make friends. I get to know him. He's a great guy. And next thing you know, about 2 or 3 months later, I've been striving to get in leadership roles. Like, I just wanted to be a lead organizer at that time. And I get a call. I'm getting my hair done. I get a call from a secretary. And she say, EVP so-and-so is on the phone for you. And I'm like, who? Put me on the phone with this man. And he tells me, hey, remember that position I told you about? It's time. Can you get to Michigan? I'm I'm like, what? I ain't applied for no job. I wasn't even a lead organizer at the time. I mean, it was just surreal. And he was like, think about it. You don't have the answer right now. Think about it. I'm going to have somebody else call you and follow up. And I tell you that story because I want to show you how dream builders look in action. There's going to be people that's going to see the potential in you and they're going to extend their hand to pull you up. There's going to be people that see you moving and you don't even think they're noticing you. And you're not trying to be noticed. You're just doing your thing. But they're vouching for you. It's not who you know. It's who know you. And I could just think about several times where people have said, Erica, you know, your reputation precedes you. Erica, everybody was talking about you. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be seen because there was a lot of years where I was invisible. Like nobody knew my contributions or even recognized my contributions or would allow themselves to recognize my contributions because they were dream killers. Damn dream killers. Oop, I cussed, my bad. But anyways, I just wanted to share that story with you and I wanted you to just kind of do an inventory of who's around you and who's in your ear and who's giving you counsel. Are you listening to the dream killers or the dream builders? Like I said, if you got you a dream killer tearing you down every step of the way, they need to cut it. If you got some dream builders, see them, recognize them, appreciate them, but then you become a dream builder. You open the doors for somebody else. You make sure that their paths are cleared so other people could come into new opportunities and new roles. You say good stuff about people you know. And don't let nobody talk bad about other people in front of you. Dismiss yourself because that's bad energy. So with all that being said, I'm finna go. I've been sitting in this sauna for like 30 minutes. I almost fell asleep earlier. But I wanted to get this out of the way because I know when I get home, I'm done. Thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for rocking with me. If you like this content, click, like, share, subscribe. I'm really interested in your feedback. Leave comments. If you got something you would like to share with me, or if you have any advice that you would like to offer me based on what you're hearing that I'm going through, or if you want to just weigh in on this conversation, leave a comment. That's how we dialogue. That's how we engage. That's how we do tribal stuff. That's how we build our tribe out. Anyways, with that being said, I just want to say thanks again, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.